Let's see, what other game awards we have? Best mobile game. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking joke of a game.
Honkai Star Rail. Basically,
I heard that one's alright of all of them.
Time for the return for the final time of a running gag.
Oh, right.
The fucking barrel. Yes,
Dying to spikes!
Dying immediately to the first thing that you could get hit by.
We did that 2 episodes ago! That's right, it's the last time, right?
Nope.
Damn it.
Famous last words.
Yep. By the way, this world is completely different for Knuckles, if you can't tell from the entrance being different entirely. This is like the one world where a lot of stuff is different for Knuckles compared to Sonic and Tails.
Yep.
It's like the only one that's like vastly different. You'll be able to tell by the very end of the second act, too. It'll be really weird. Now, I'm going to say Honkai Star Rail is from the Muhuyo, the one that does Genshin Impact, all those other ones that people seem to really like all of a sudden.
I heard that of those games, Honkai is one of the better ones, but...
I mean, I guess I can believe it, I don't know.
Then again, like, I don't play them, so I don't really have any...
Why would I care? I play actual video games.
Okay, I think you want to do...
There we go.
Yeah. You gotta do some weird
Another one I thought would have gone for community support, but I guess it was too recent. That game, what was it, Lethal Company or whatever?
I think that game came out very recently is what it is.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of memes of that lately.
So many people have been playing it. Actually, one of the people that I hang out with usually, he actually bought that game for me because when I first saw that game, I wasn't interested at all because I just looked at it and it just seemed kind of
multiplayer survival game kind of thing, yeah.
He bought it for me, but it's like, I played a little bit of it and I get the appeal of it, but let me just put it this way, it's definitely not my first game.
I don't know.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I always just see a bunch of stuff for that on frickin'
But good for the
social
devs.
media. Oh god!
The people making that game.
You remember how they work? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Okay, I don't think you can go down there.
Yeah, because if you could go higher, you'd probably crush yourself.
Okay.
Yep. You want to go underneath the long way. Without hopefully dying to spikes or getting shot back by springs. Oh yeah, best VR game was Resident Evil Village. So Resident Evil got to win awards 2 years in a row because it had a VR mode added this year.
Honestly, for what it's worth, I'll say this.
God damn it!
Resident Evil is definitely more appealing, if that makes sense.
What, Village more appealing than...
For like VR, for the VR space, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, they did design Resident Evil 7 particularly with that in mind, and the Village was kind of in the same vein, but a little more, like... It wasn't like... I felt like the first Resident Evil 7 was very reliant on VR.
Well, Resident Evil 7 was also the first, second major shift in direction. Since they went from Resident Evil 4 through 6, but by the time they got to 6, and because of what 6 tried to do, they didn't really get a lot of good faith, so what ended up happening was they needed to basically go back to the drawing board, and that's how we got Resident Evil 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah, Armored Core 6 won Best Action Game. That's that one.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, I'm pretty sure, like, if anything should have won the action.
Dead Island 2 got nominated? That's shocking. I thought people didn't like Dead Island 2.
I didn't hear much about Dead Island
Also,
2.
one of the games you were thinking might have been Ghost Runner 2?
Ghost Runner 2?
That one got nominated for it. I think I heard good things about that one, I think. Weird. There's Best Action and Best Action Adventure. The fuck?
Yeah, that sounds kind of reductive.
Zelda won Best Action Adventure. Best RPG. Better have been Baldur's Gate 3, and it was. Oh, yeah, Best Fighting Game. What a surprise. Street Fighter 6. Beat Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl 2, Mortal Kombat 1, Pocket Braver, whatever the fuck that is, God of Rock. I don't know if I want to know what that is. Sounds dumb.
You want the,
Okay, yeah, Nintendo had 3 Best Sim strategy games on there. Pikmin 4 won. The other ones that lost were Fire Emblem Engage, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, The other two, they were City Skylines 2, which I guess is a sim, and Company of Heroes 3.
I'm familiar with City Skylines at the very least.
Yeah, my brother plays it a lot. Basically building your own city. It's like an evolution of Sim City in a way. It's basically more involved now, the actual city building aspect. Like, it can get kind of... It can get, like, surprisingly deep.
I can believe it.
Best sports racing game, at least it wasn't won by an EA game.
That would be a riot and a half.
It was Forza Motorsport.
Not surprising.
Wow. Xbox's only real next-gen exclusive this Generation 1-2 awards, while Sony had nothing this year. It kind of shows us how weak Sony's library has kind of become lately. Man, I feel like I've been saying that for a lot.
You say that a lot for Sony, but it's like, just to give an idea, like Microsoft, like what have they got to show for years?
Oh yeah, I think Hellblade 2 got a trailer at Game Awards. That was another one I forgot about.
And I'd say, like, you have Game Pass, that's great. Do you have anything new to show as well?
Yeah.
Like, no, then...
Hi-Fi Rush was another one, technically. Well, that was more Bethesda, but...
And Tango, and...
Yeah.
I'm trying to think...
It's technically under their banner, which, again, you could also make that argument for having Naughty Dog and Insomniac with their games, because it's not technically Sony, but they're under their banner.
Yeah. The problem is, it's also like, you show up on PC as well, so...
That's also true, yes.
So it's like, if you want to give me that argument, it's like, you show up on PC, so that argument kind of loses more weight.
I just like to, I like to fight the console fanboy narrative, that's all.
True. I'm also just trying to be honest, it's like, I'm not saying this as someone who's being spiteful, I'm just saying this as...
I mean, you have PC, you get everything. Oh god!
Well, almost everything.
I saw the can move and you were glitching just in the center.
No, he just shot at the center and he just kind of sat there.
She shot out, got hit in the spikes, got dropped back in the can. While the cannon was moving, he was just sitting still in one spot while the cannon still moved.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, this level's really weird with Knuckles. I, like, never remember where it goes. Where am I?
He's outspeeding the berry altogether.
Oh, look at that, we're at the end of the stage.
Hold on.
Yep, remember, Knuckles is the one that throws Sonic and Tails into a trap at the end of Act 2. Originally. Since Knuckles is the one that's here, he doesn't have to deal with the trap.
Maybe I should go up. Oh no!
Doesn't explain why he has to do Hydro City Zone still, but whatever. And you go meet Icecap Zone! No boss there for Act 2 for some.
That is kind of hilarious that he still has to do Hydro City Zone. It's like, wait, why am I going down the bridge?
Yeah!
So we need us...
I love how there's a checkpoint right at the thing, right after you get past the first hurdle.
That's more for Sonic, but yeah. Now we're at stages that are very familiar again.
You're gonna need to use the spring since you don't get
You don't get as much speed with Knuckles either, that's the other thing. Not as fast as Sonic, I mean, duh. Best multiplayer is Baldur's Gate 3. That does have me really curious how the split screen play of that works.
I thought it'd be a little bit more than split screen because of the way the game plays out.
Oh, maybe it does have online multiplayer, I don't really know.
It
might be a secret ring in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And you'd be right. Now let's just go super and get on with it.
Best adaptation. Gee, who's surprised? There's been a lot of decent adaptations this year, though. Last of Us won.
Yeah.
Then again, it was so much like the game.
In the case of
it's pretty hard not to adapt it well if you're following the source material pretty closely.
Yeah.
They did add a few things to get more backstory for Joel, I think, and it was. I keep reading Nick Offerman's a very good actor.
Yeah.
I always just remember him in frickin' Parks and Rec. It's fucking. Oh god, it's my favorite character of that show. Fucking wonderful. Frickin' Parks and Rec. But yeah. And it gave Pedro Pascal an even bigger name for himself now. But yeah. I love hearing people at work talk about it, because they do not know video games for anything. And they talk about Last of Us as if, it's like something really new. It's like, man.
Boy, do I have news for you.
It is nice, I guess, nice seeing another step of video games in a way getting to the mainstream.
I mean, video games by themselves getting into the mainstream isn't the greatest of sins. It's just when we get the wrong people making video
fucking
games.
loop.
Yeah. Last of Us is one of the first. It's like the second or third of like a very well-renowned video game adaptation.
Ugh.
It just has to be the right medium and game for it to work this
I'm
well.
probably going to fucking die.
Yep. Yeah, I think I heard Neil Druckmann was involved with it too, so, you know, actually getting the game's main producer to be involved with it would make a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah. It's like, say what you will about it, he was also there for the first game, so...
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just gonna... Yeah.
I just know they lost their great storyteller, Amy Hennig, I think.
Yeah, Amy Hennig was the one that they lost.
She's the one that did Last of Us 1, I think.
Alright.
I think Neil Druckmann did more of Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Which is why some people aren't as big on that one. But yeah, the other adaptations, Castlevania Nocturne. Good, just not as good as the early seasons of the original Castlevania anime series.
Oh, the original seasons...
The original first 2 seasons at the very least were
Yep.
amazing.
Gran Turismo, which is basically more of a fucking Gran Turismo ad.
I mean, I thought it was good for what it was worth.
Yeah. People
Compared to some of the other video game movies that have kind of shown up.
I mean,
it's also you're trying to
just being an ad for the game was one of the worst things it did. That's all. Super Mario Brothers movie, a decent movie that could have been better if it wasn't for some of the fucking Illumination Entertainment bullshit. But it was still fine for what it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
May as well go Super 4.
I was gonna say, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, like, you're gonna.
Yeah, not dealing with that shit. Well, the other one is Twisted Metal, which I've heard has been very mixed. Some people really like it, some people do not like it.
The idea of a Twisted Metal series altogether just kind of.
I
said the same thing for Gran Turismo. I thought that was fun.
That's a very ignored property Sony needs to get back on. Honestly.
Yeah.
Say that, but we also need. The first thing I want to ask is if you're going to get the right person to work on it. If not, then don't even bother touching it.
Right, they tried something after Black, didn't they? And it didn't work out well.
Yeah, I think it was after Black, and then it sort of fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most anticipated game. The winner was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's also really sad. The most anticipated game is a game from frickin' almost 20 years ago. That's having Part 2, it's Part 3 remake coming out.
What were the other games that have more curiosity?
Hades 2. Only because Hades 1 was so good. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. At least it's finally getting recognition. Star Wars Outlaws. I feel like I've been hearing something about that. Oh, an Ubisoft Star Wars game. I don't know if I'd be that excited about it, honestly.
Honestly, anything, if it's from Ubisoft, I wouldn't have any fucking faith in that one.
And Tekken 8.
I'd probably just go with Yakuza Infinite Wealth in that case, for me, personally.
Then again, all the other big games from Nintendo's end are either remakes or Super Princess Peach. So, I can see why none of theirs are on there.
Yeah. So honestly, I'd say, but then again, I'd say 1,000 Year Door deserves it, but that's just me.
I mean,
that's a little bit more niche than...
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth are probably the biggest two. Hades 2 also getting a bit of a pat on the back as well for...
Okay, can we quickly discuss that with, the... It's like, I'm happy that we are getting a Paper Mario remake, but it's like, why just get the first one?
Because people still think the first one's fine for what it is, I think. Believe me, I thought the same thing too. I was like, huh. Like, if they I really thought they would have done the first game first, but you know... Well, it seems to be a thing. They love remaking a lot of the GameCube, PS2,
yeah, they're
Xbox
doing a lot
era
of
games.
GameCube stuff because...
Ooh, see, right.
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
Because I think a lot of it is more to do with the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox nostalgia.
You may want to try going another way. I wouldn't... Oh, right, there's a spring down there. I always forget about that. I've only gone...
I just happened to see it.
Yeah, I've only done that special stage once. I always forget about it. But yeah, it's probably something with like the architecture of a lot of the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube games. It's a lot harder to just straight up port them. Just a guess.
But yet...
Although PS2 managed to be just straight up port on PS3 just fine. Where you can just straight up download them.
I mean, that's also another thing, is that this is also the end of the Switch's life cycle as we all know it.
Yeah.
So it's not like the last...
Everybody's anticipating what's going to be coming for the Switch 2, quote-unquote, that people are expecting to come out either mid or late, well, this year, 2024.
Unless you want to have another Final Fantasy IX fiasco where it came out at the end of the PlayStation 1's life cycle, so nobody bothered playing it.
Even though it was arguably the best Final Fantasy game.
Yeah. So it's like, congratulations, you made the best game that nobody would play because it's the end of the life cycle when nobody really gives a shit anymore. So pick your poison on that front. You want to make a new game? That's probably the best, but just consider it cult classic because nobody wants to. Because everybody's looking forward to the new shiny thing.
Everybody just knows 7 because it was, well...
It was the most revolutionary for better and for worse.
Yep. And then
Not
8
saying
tried
it's
to
the best.
be different, and it was weird.
Yep. 8 tried being different, and there's a lot of problems with 8.
But
And
it'd be
everyone was
enjoyable if
moving
you know
forwards.
about the problems, I guess. To a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Well, there's one mechanic in particular that can be a problem
Yeah.
if you don't know about it.
Yeah. Like I said, if you know about it, it's fine. If you don't, it's gonna be miserable.
Oh, what? You want to actually battle through enemies like a typical RPG? Make the game a lot harder for myself? Why would I do that? Yeah, so you may as well do that. We're almost at the boss anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can't be frozen today. Because it's just a giant ice maker. Well, yeah, we might be able to get through this whole Knuckles
Probably
hack
just
today.
sit there.
You know, we've only been going through this for an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah. We might be able to go through the whole Knuckles campaign today.
Well, I did get frozen, MJ. So what was that?
They kicked you out of your super form, it looked like. Oh! You got a
Because he
final
kicked-
hit on him, and then you super
Because it's
form
the
got out.
transition phase. When you finish the boss, you get forced out.
That's what happened, yup.
Still, what was that?
Well,
I mean, you beat
bad
the boss,
timing.
so...